Recruiting is on fire. Absolutely on fire. Official visits all over the place. We got commitments popping all over the place. This and July, most important months of the year in recruiting. Counting, by the way, early signing day month in December. That's how crazy it is right now. Georgia is leading the pack. Georgia is the odds-on favorite, even though they don't put odds out on such things. I do. They are the odds-on favorite to have the number one class in the country. I'm going to go ahead and say it's going to end up being the highest rated class Georgia's ever signed. So that's where my mind's at on Georgia recruiting right now. Now, they're tracking for an elite class, obviously. The newer development is the guys they've recently had in town. For instance, the top defensive lineman in the country. You're watching him if you're watching on YouTube. Williams, we think Waneri. I'm going to have to hit up Rusty. He doesn't even work here anymore. I still lean on him for pronunciations. That's the top defensive lineman in the country, I believe, out of Missouri. They got a loaded in-state crop, but Kirby Smart's talked on this show before about how he approaches national recruiting. You can't, as much as you want to lock down Georgia, and they do a good job of it, not all your needs are always going to be addressed in your home state. That's not the way God produces talent every year. It's not exactly proportionate. And so they may just have one they go grab out of Missouri there. Dylan Raiola was the number one overall quarterback in the country, used to play ball in Arizona, now he's at Buford. Go Wolves. Do you understand what I'm telling you? If you don't have the rankings memorized, Georgia is either in it or at the top or already has commitments from 5 of the top 11 players in the country. They could end up landing 4 of the top 7 in the country. That's as the rankings stand right now. So, yeah, they're doing okay. Believe it or not, things are going to be okay in Athens. In Tallahassee, big recruiting weekend, I think they're going to take like 37 receivers before all is said and done at Florida State. It's looking good for Elijah Moore. That's what it sounds like. That's my biggest takeaway from this past weekend. Now, look, that's a 6'4", 190-pound receiver who in the 24/7 Sports composite only has 3 stars next to his name. I just think the industry's behind a little bit on him. 24/7 already has 4 stars on him, and I think that the industry will catch up there. So I think he's going to be a composite and consensus 4-star receiver before all is said and done. It's interesting to watch their wide receiver recruiting because they're in it for a ton of guys at that position. I don't know what the number is on how many they plan on taking there, but the number I'm fascinated with is where's Florida State going to end up? This is not going to be a top 3 class. Could easily be a top 10 class, though. And remember, in this era, you have to think about their recruiting class meshed with their transfer portal class. And Mike Norvell's doing a good job on both fronts right now. What about Texas? I think the last thing we talked about Thursday was Texas was about to make a move. Texas is making a move. Jarek Gibson, number 2 running back in the country, out of IMG down there in Bradenton, Florida, has committed to Texas. And he's not going to be alone. I think he's got more friends coming. It would not surprise me, actually, since we've been, oh, are you serious, Jesse? Okay, here's what I was about to say. Keep typing. You're fine. I was about to say it wouldn't surprise me if by the end of this show, Texas had another commitment. And then Jesse hops in the teleprompter, which normally gathers dust because we don't use it, and he just typed, Texas has landed 4-star offensive tackle Nate Kibble. This news is coming to me even as we speak. How about breaking news here on Sunday night, Late Kick Live? So Texas is rolling. Also, Colin Simmons, 5-star edge guy. Let's just keep an eye on him. I have a smile that I'm trying to mask because I don't think it's over. Like there's a ton of competition for Colin Simmons. It's just that Texas is right in the thick of that competition. He's from Duncanville High School out there in Texas. He also had 22.5 sacks in the year of our Lord 2022. So there's that. And wide receiver alert at Penn State. Wide receiver, probably, relatively speaking, one of the biggest questions on this year's team. Well, they've landed 3 of them. Tyseer Denmark, wide receiver. They flipped him from Oregon. That's a 4-star kid. Dude, my handwriting is atrocious here. Peter Gonzalez? Yes, Jesse? Whew. Okay, got him. That was a 3-star wide receiver. That's a Pitt legacy, so that means a lot up there in the Keystone State. Josiah Brown's a 4-star athlete. They landed him. And so it's a magical thing when all of a sudden quarterback looks like it's going to be played at a little bit higher level than it's been played at your respective university. All of a sudden, those wide receivers say, I want some. And then you, as a coaching staff, get to select which ones you take instead of taking whatever you can get. So I would encourage you really every morning period, but especially Monday morning, Wilt Fong, his poor fingers. Wilt Fong has to type about 2 trillion words on Sunday night. And so make sure 247sports.com is where you are on Monday morning. The YouTube channel as well, the 247 Sports YouTube channel. It got us some softball attendance the other night. And so if you haven't already subscribed over there, I would suggest you do it. It is red hot in recruiting right now. I was talking to someone on one of these staffs, one of the recruiting staffs. It's like, he said, I am so far beyond exhaustion. I am so, like, whatever the point of exhaustion was, I passed it miles ago. He said, I'm almost to the point where I'm so tired I can't go to sleep, but we all know July is coming, and we will all finally just be able to go, but until then, it's on. It used to be vacation season, not vacation season anymore. June is where it's at.